Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program is brought to you by Tennova Healthcare. And let me tell you about Tennova's Men's Health Center of Excellence. As a cancer survivor myself, I would have loved to have had a program like this to turn to. A personal nurse navigator that walks you through the process, answers all of your questions. 1 in 6 men will get prostate cancer in their lifetimes. Tennova can help you get through it. Their nurse navigator system is great. The Men's Health Center of Excellence. Go to Tennova.com to learn more about that tremendous program, Tennova. All right, back with Mike, Isaiah, Houston, and Mark. I want to talk about the guy who just you can't get him out of some folks' minds, and that's Bruce Pearl. As soon as the Donnie Tyndall story broke this week, and it's a couple of stories that were written that sources say there's an investigation going on. That's it. Sources say there will be an investigation. Some people took to social media. Some took to talk radio to say, fire this guy and go get Pearl. Spend the $5 million on the buyout. I don't know if they're expecting Pearl just to leave down there and come up here for Friday's game or not, but you've already got people who just, they're Pearl crazy. Then there's nothing you can do. There's no vaccination, I don't think, that you can give them until something bad happens at Auburn. But my question is, knowing this, how important is the January 31st game, noon, Thompson Bowling Arena, Auburn versus Tennessee? How much is the season going to be viewed through that lens, Mike Strange?
Well, it was going to be viewed, that was going to be a big game regardless of this NCAA stuff. Mm-hmm. And what you said earlier about would Pearl come back up here and coach Friday night? Some people, I'm not sure he wouldn't if you heard him talk at SEC Media Days about how he's still involved for life.
Yeah.
So,
which I'm sure Auburn people just love.
Yeah, so
sure.
It's going to be a huge game, and fortunately for Tennessee, Auburn doesn't look like they got a real great team right now, but then Tennessee doesn't either. So,
well, for me, once again, from a coach's standpoint, I think it's a bigger game for the fans than it is for the coach, because I think he's going to be looking just to win a basketball game. That's what he's going to be looking to. Maybe 2 sellouts in Thompson Bowling this year. One being Kentucky, the second one probably being Auburn. And with all due respect to Coach Pearl, it's time for us to move on. We're 2 coaches removed from Bruce Pearl, and what he did for Tennessee basketball was unparalleled since back to Ray Mears' time.
Until the end.
Absolutely, until the end. What he left it with, we had to rebuild from, and we picked up the pieces and moved on. So now it's time to get behind the current staff and try to move forward with this program.
I wish you luck in selling that speech. We've tried it for 3 years here, and it didn't work under Gonzo Martin, so we'll see. Mark, I realize that the coaches aren't going to look at this game any differently, but in terms of what the fan response is, if Tennessee's got a bad team and they beat Bruce Pearl, I think that heals a lot. If they have a bad team and they lose to Bruce Pearl, I think these people who are in the woodwork wanting Pearl back, I think they're just going to get louder.
It's fun. There'll probably be 2 sellout games this year at Thompson Bowling Arena when Kentucky comes to town and then when Bruce comes to town, because the people do want to see this. I think it's just like if our football team beats Alabama and beats Lane Kiffin, they get excited. That would have been something that they held their hat on. Same thing with this basketball team. If they can beat Bruce, it is something that our fans will hold their hat on and be excited about. But it isn't the end-all of the season. But it is going to be a big game that could give him momentum moving forward.
Isaiah, from a player's point of view, some of those guys on that team played for or were recruited by Bruce Pearl or knew Bruce Pearl, and they certainly saw their last coach under the shadow of Bruce Pearl. They're going to know what their own coach, Donnie Tyndall's, dealing with. How much as a player do you look at that kind of a game and mark it? Do you circle it, or is it just another game to you?
Because it's a coach, I think it's more just of another game to the players. But I do think Coach Tyndall, I don't know him, but if he's any sort of competitor, he's going to want to quiet the critics. He has a little something inside of him that wants to say, hey, I'm the guy for the job, and forget about Pearl, let's go forward. So I think it'll build. It won't be just an average game for him just trying to get a win, I believe. So
I think you're right. Houston, you're the head coach, and I've never heard a head coach that says he pays attention to the media. I don't read the papers. I don't listen to that stuff. At the same time, I don't believe there's a single coach that doesn't not hear it. I think you have to hear that stuff. Do you think Donnie Tyndall has the kind of personality that's going to – I think it got under Gonzo Martin's skin a little bit Do you think Donnie Tyndall's going to have his feathers ruffled by all the Bruce Peralta love?
I think that's the key point, is that how does it affect you? You hear it. I think every coach hears it. Every coach pays attention to it, but how do you let it affect you? I don't think Donnie Tyndall's going to bother him very much. I don't think it, you look at him, you look at his personality, the way he does handle adversity, the things he's went through to get to the point to being where he is right now. He lived in Moorhead, Kentucky for 2 years, lived in Hattiesburg, Mississippi for 2 years. He can deal with anything. So he's here now in Knoxville, and he's in a position he wanted to be his entire life. I don't think this adversity will ruffle his feathers.
All right, very good.
I think on the other end, please believe that Bruce is going to be coming in here trying to put on a show. And I think Donnie does have that competitiveness to him, that he's going to get these guys ready to play and try to get that victory.
He'll embrace that challenge, no question about that, but he won't get ruffled.
Who's got the better roster? Very quickly.
Auburn.
Auburn.
Okay. Auburn has a better roster. All right. Guys, I want to thank all of you. Basketball season underway. As soon as football season winds down, we're going to be seeing a lot more of you guys starting probably December. Or if there's any other shoes to fall here in the next couple of weeks, we may bring you back out there. But Mark, Houston, Isaiah, Mike, thank you very much. We're going to shift to football recruiting next. Then we're going to talk football. Packed house today, packed show today. Stick with us on the Sports Source.
Quality, quick. Trust Fast Frame.